What's up, everybody? It's Patric Young here for episode 3 of season 2 of The Young and the Rowdies. And let me tell you, my next guest, I am super excited to give this intro because, you guys are going to figure it out if you're watching this, but it's just an honor, first off, to have him on here. He's got a lot of great accomplishments along with his career and many more to come. But before we get into the intro, thank you guys again for the love. It's super exciting to be back here for season 2 of the show. It's so exciting. It's so fun being able to connect with former Gator greats and anyone that has something to do with the program, the organization, and going on to do bigger and better things with their life, but they don't forget wearing that orange and blue. So if you enjoyed the show, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. You guys know what to do. You can find the show in anywhere that plays podcasts. But into this next guest, first off, he stands at a staggering 5'11", but don't let his size and stature fool you. He has the nickname of the Flash, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he has one of the greatest plays in Florida basketball history, the shot that we all are very aware of. He holds the record for the most assists in Florida basketball history. He has led the SEC in assists, 2 times, assist to turnover ratio, 2 times in the league. He led the league in assists per game that he averaged as well. One of my favorite stats of his is that he helped the Gators to a 6th sweep of UK of Kentucky in program history. And without further ado, it is my honor to introduce our guest, number 11, the Flash, Chris Chiozza. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
What's up, Pat? I'm glad to be here. Glad you got me. Nice introduction. Taking me back.
Bro. Yeah, man. You got a lot of them, bro. And it's a lot of things we're gonna get into here on the show. But before we get into that stuff, where are you right now? What's going on?
I'm in San Francisco right now. I'm with Golden State now, so I just moved into my apartment. So I got a nice little view out here. So just kind of adjusting to this West Coast life.
West Coast life. You're a Memphis guy. So what's that been like, that adjustment? The Bay.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, it's different. I've been out here for about 2 weeks now, so I'm starting to like it. The weather's nice. So it's a real slow pace. Everybody out here is moving a lot different than they were when I was in New York with Brooklyn. Everybody was running around, looked like they was late to everything out here.
Yeah.
Driving slow and ain't nobody honking no horns. Everybody's not. It's different.
Did you even drive in New York?
I didn't even have my car out there. There was no point. You couldn't park nowhere. So I just would either Uber or, whatever I had to do to get to practice.
You catch the train? You gotta ride the train at least once.
I ain't ride the train because when I was there, COVID was real. I wasn't trying to be around too many people.
Yeah, I can imagine. How has it been? Just adjusting with all that, from when the season got shut down to G League getting shut down. How has your whole experience with how the pandemic has affected, the normalcy of your basketball career? How is it? And up until now, because I know California still got some restrictions and some things you can and can't do. So what's that been like for you?
It's been a big change. I think the biggest thing was, after that shutdown, we played in the bubble. Not having any fans. It was literally just teams, their training staff, and front office people for 2 months straight. And it was just like you see the same people every day for 2 months. However many people it was, just every day, all day. It's like you go outside the hotel room, it's the same people. So it was weird, especially from me being like a people person. I'm always around a bunch of people, meeting new people. COVID has been like a big change for me, but I've been dealing with it really well. And it seems like out here, everything's getting kind of normal. There's a lot of people vaccinated. I think actually San Francisco was one of the first city to have I forgot what it's called, 80% or however enough percentage of people to be vaccinated to be considered a safe area. So
okay, got you.
Yeah.
So. some type of effective something. I don't know, some
Yeah.
effective rating. I don't something along those lines. Man. I'm in Nebraska with my girl in the middle of nowhere. Like this is where she's from. She's from Nebraska, and like I can work remotely. I can do the podcast and stuff. So like I'm exposed to like the bare minimum amount of people out here right now. It's like if there wasn't the golf course right here. I've been playing a bunch. If the golf course wasn't here, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably be back in Florida, where in Florida nobody even cares.
Yeah, I think Florida and Atlanta are like two places that never experienced COVID.
I know, right? Yeah, it only exists in Florida, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just signed you're at Golden State right now, going through training camp. How's it been adjusting with the team? It's got to be, did you know after the season ended with Brooklyn, like what the next step was, or you're just prayerful for knowing the next opportunity, just trusting God, seeing what was going to happen next.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. I enjoyed my time in Brooklyn. I got along with those guys, and they're a great organization. So, going into free agency, I wanted to go back there, if it was possible. And this opportunity presented itself, and I was happy to come out here and be a part of another great organization that's, been winning for the last few years.
Yeah.
So I experienced that winning culture again, and just continue to get better and try to set myself up for a position, to better my future. So
yeah, does it feel? I mean, I know you well enough to know that you got big dreams and want to continue on. Of course, you enjoy the moment, enjoy where you're at, but obviously, you want to earn that one day future starting position and so on and so forth, everything that comes with it. But is it kind of weird though? Like, you think about like you're living in the middle of like your dreams, bro. Like you're like every day you're getting a chance to go after it. Like every single day you get a chance to that 1% get better and just keep going after it. Like how does that feel, man? Because a lot of people they fizzle out and they just don't keep going after it. They get discouraged. And I'm sure you've had bumps along the way and just because that's normal. That's life. It's a lot of things we can't control. But for you, it's you scratch your head about, but still seem to have worked out pretty well. But how has it been? Like just every day you wake up, you're still chasing after your dream, or living your, I should say.
I don't know. I mean, it's a great feeling. I try not to think about it too much. Like you said, I just try to be in the moment and enjoy, every day. So, I mean, it's hard not to think about it though. Just something you grown up want to do for, since you were, 5, 6 years old, and being able to do it every day, and then be playing with these guys that I've looked up to for, since I was in middle school, high school, and being some of the best players in the world, and being, their teammates, and just being around these guys every day, kicking it with them on and off the court, and, making real friendships, and, just seeing how different people, think differently about basketball, about life, and how they treat basketball and how certain people treat it. And it just makes you have like a different level of respect for, the game and what it can do for people and how it changed their life and everything. And, you just got to enjoy it while you can, because you can't have it forever. So like you said, every day I'm living my dream. So I just try to, learn as much as I can, use it to get other opportunities and everything like that, and just set myself up for the future.
Absolutely. And there's no question that you're 1,000,000,000% an NBA player, but still, like it had to be so surreal, when you're meeting these guys that just a few years ago you're watching them on TV or like grown up seeing them, and just like dang, like that's like KD's my teammate, like Kyrie's my that had to be kind of weird for a second, look. Or James Harden's my teammate, or like that had to be kind of crazy for a second, bro.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, you get used to it after a while, but yeah, at first it's definitely something that you think you wouldn't really get to experience in life. Maybe you get to meet these guys, for certain things, but being around them every day and like you said, growing up watching them and taking things from their games, and it's like you see those guys working every day and just being around them. It's unbelievable just to see their work ethic and how serious they approach stuff, and you get to see what makes those guys so great.
Yeah. What was something that really just like stood out to you about one of those superstars, like as far as the work ethic and their approach and maybe their leadership?
I would say like KD. Just seeing him every day and the way he shoots the ball and the drills he does, stuff he does to like get ready for games and just level of focus he has when he's working out. It's like something I'd never seen before. Like I've been around guys that great shooters and considered great shooters, and be like, dang, I wish I could shoot like them. And then it's like you get here, you see this guy 7-foot guard, and it's like when he's in practice or doing shooting drills, it's like I don't see him miss more than like 3 shots like throughout the whole day.
That's gotta be wild. Like these dudes literally don't miss. Like
it's crazy.
Missing like drills where you got to make a certain number in a row, or like if you miss, like these dudes probably never missed 2 in a row. Like that's got to be wild. Like, and that's the norm.
Yeah, like if he misses 2 in a row, it's like he's mad for him to punch a hole in the wall. So it's like, it's crazy, man. It's just it's how hard he works, and it looks so easy for him. It's like effortless. So
yeah, he definitely. I always think about like with Kevin's body is like he was made to be a basketball player. Like I don't know what else my man could have done with with a body like his. I don't know if there was anything else in the world that he'd have the capability of doing, but being an incredible basketball player. But geez, man, it's time to get back to the now that I got you and we filled in the people with where you are right now. Let's go back to the beginning. How did grew up Memphis kid, what was life like growing up, and like how did your love for basketball even start?
Growing up, I played baseball was my primary sport. It was my best sport, and I did football a little bit. I just love being outside playing sports, being around, like my team and stuff. So I just was trying to play a bunch of different sports. And as I got older, I want to say like my freshman year of high school, the first high school I went there to play because the baseball team was, really good. They were like state champions or whatever. And I got there and I did my basketball workouts. I was doing summer league for the baseball team. And I was like, man, I don't love baseball like I used to. I was
I got you.
I was out there and I was like, I've been a shortstop my whole life. I was a shortstop and a pitcher. And I got to high school and they had a guy that was a shortstop already that I had known growing up. And he was a couple years older than me. And he was really good. He ended up making it to the pros for a while. So they put me in the outfield. And I was like, I don't mind being in the outfield. I could play center field. They put me in left field. Hated it.
Okay.
I said, there's no
left
way.
Field.
I was like, nah, I didn't like it. I was like, nah, I can't do this. I like, you could put me a second base, pitcher, something I'm gonna get like, I'm used to. And
more action. Yeah, a little more action.
You get older, the pitchers are better. You don't get as many, opportunities to field the ball. You get three at bats all game. I'm like, nah, this ain't for me. Just stand around all day. I got to be involved. So like, that's when I really was like, basketball. I love this because it's like I'm always doing something. I'm always involved.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm good at it. So I was like, baseball might not be what I want to do for knowing more. And then baseball coach was mad at me when I told him I didn't want to play no more, and I ended up playing. So, it worked out.
Yeah, I would say it worked out. But what was your family? What were they saying around that time? Were they just like, they want you to just do whatever makes you happy type thing, or what was the dynamic in that time? Because I too had to make a decision when I played baseball up till I was 16, and I was slipping on my grades, and I went to a magnet school or whatever, college prep, And like baseball was my first sport, my first love, and I was pitcher and I could hit. And then basketball, I started getting real good. I was 6'9" in ninth grade, but I was really uncoordinated. I could barely dunk. And then after that, ninth grade and my 10th grade year is when like things started to click. I started like figuring out my body, my athleticism, and basketball was fun. But because I was, those sports kind of overlap a little bit in high school, and I started like, I don't know, like, because I was a good student to get into that school, but I don't know if just like basketball and the popularity got to my head or whatever distraction, but I came home with like 4 C's, and my mom was like, "You're not average," but because you're choosing to be so, you have to choose one sport, basketball or baseball. So I ended up choosing basketball. It was easy at that time because I didn't really like my baseball coaches. I didn't think they were really that good at the time with what they were doing and how they were using me. So then I didn't play my junior year, and them boys went to state. Bro, I was so tight. I was so tight. Man, I was sick. But we had a good basketball season that year. And then, as you just said, I think I made the right decision. I almost played my senior year when I transferred, but my basketball coach was like, "Let's call Coach Donovan and see what he thinks about you playing baseball. Let's see what he thinks." And I was like, "You're right, Coach. I ain't trying to get hurt. I'm done. I'm not gonna play." So, and my parents, my dad was heartbroken because he wanted me to play baseball, but they were just happy I was just pursuing something, and I had an opportunity to play in college.
Yeah, same. My parents have always been supportive of whatever I did, and my dad played baseball. My family actually had a history of baseball back in the day, so I think that's why baseball was just so like my first sport. It just kind of came naturally to me, and then from there, when I just fell in love with basketball, my dad also played basketball, so his love was basketball as well. He gave up baseball when he went to college just so he could play basketball, and so I mean he was awesome. He was all for it, and my mom was just whatever I want to do to make me happy. And
yeah. She just wants you to go after it. Yeah.
Get education and whatever. So ended up being basketball.
So you choose to go basketball. You didn't, you saw you had more enjoyment in it, more fulfillment. When did you, and you're already good and being a point guard and, as quick as you are, when did it start? When did you were probably a little bit of a late addition, not that you were a late bloomer, but a late addition to really getting on the scene. When did your recruiting really like start kicking off?
I would say my sophomore year, the end of my sophomore year, going into my junior. That summer is when, like AAU time, is when I really like took off. I had like 3 or 4 good tournaments in a row, and that's when I went from whatever I was ranked to like top 40, 30, whatever, in like a month. And from there, everybody, it seemed like every weekend, it was 5 more schools like that I was like that I always wanted to go to. Like I'd be like, well, I love to play there. And it's like each weekend, like Monday after the tournament, I'm getting a call from this school, and it just kept going. And it was like I was like, there's no way this is happening. Like went from no offers to like a matter of less than a month. So.
And it's kind of annoying too after a minute, when you're trying to just like everybody calling you like, man, I'm just trying to, enjoy. I just want to hoop, man. Like, but at what point, because obviously, I'm really glad Jeff Goodman, he's producing this episode for us. He mentioned that, you in the circuit that Memphis was probably originally a dream school for you. What was it like if they would have came on the scene and offered you sooner? We probably wouldn't be here having this conversation. You probably wouldn't have worn orange and blue, and I mean, we're all thankful you came because you had a hell of a career with us over in Florida. But what was the process like? When did Florida even get in the mix of your recruiting, and how did you end up deciding to go there?
So I I don't remember exactly. I remember when I first talked to Coach Donovan and Coach Pelfrey. I don't remember
Coach
what
Pell.
I don't remember what Thursday it was, but I remember getting that call after that. Like as soon as that game was over, I remember them calling me and they were like, we want to offer you a scholarship. And I was like, I grown up being in the South, so I always see them on TV, and I always, enjoy watching them. Of course, Coach Donovan was a great coach, so seeing them have small guards, that always was, just killing in college and going to play somewhere and really, playing well. I always wanted to. That was one of the places I always was like, I would love to go there. And then I had my grandparents actually moved to Florida, and they were about an hour and a half, 2 hours, like in Orlando. So uh, that was another reason I went. So when I got that call from Coach Donovan, I was like, yeah, they're definitely top three off of
Yeah.
that, just off of Coach Donovan and the history they have with point guards and his history of being a point guard in the NBA. So they were top three automatically as soon as I got that call.
What were the schools that were in the mix at that time? Like your final, like if it wasn't going to be Florida, who else would it have been?
Ohio State. I was so me and D'Angelo Russell went to a lot of camps together in high school. And
Yep.
we met it there, and he was always a shooting guard, and he didn't really play point guard until he got to Ohio State. He wanted me to come to Ohio State and run point guard, so he could run too. And I think after he got drafted, I made a little joke. I was like, I bet you're happy I didn't come there now. Now you a point guard. But it was Ohio State, Kansas, Florida, and I think my fourth was gonna be like UConn.
What was it that, I mean, that's four top programs. What was it about Coach Donovan that you knew that's where you wanted to go? And as you said, he had smaller guards. He had Casey Hill at that time, Scotty, 6'1", Irving Walker, Kenny Boyd, times in before that, that could really contribute to winning, and that he really just gave them the freedom to go. Was it just seeing that you were just like, I could fit right into that?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons for sure. And it was when I talked to him, he was just so honest with me about me coming in. He's like, "Yeah, you might not play at all. you might start, you might not play. You never know. Like I'm not giving you anything. You got to come in here and compete." And I knew Casey was there. I played against him, I think 1 year in AAU. My team used to play up, my AAU team, because we were so good. So we used to play up against all the older guys. So we played against Casey and Chris Walker. And all the guys that got on that team, they were loaded. And that was I think we lost 3 or 4 games that whole summer. And we were playing up the whole summer. And that was one of the only teams we lost to, one of the only teams we lost to. And so,
you had 1 year with Chris Walker.
Yeah.
How my man Chris doing? Where you at right now, bro?
I haven't talked to him, and I think last time I talked to him was probably I don't even know. It's been a while since I talked to him, but I mean, we used to, talk all the time, just be on the video game together. We still talk on Snapchat, Instagram, stuff like that, but we don't.
He got to be one of the most athletic dudes I've ever seen, big dudes I've ever seen in my life.
Crazy.
I remember it was before he committed. I think we just had a pickup, and he got it on the break. Cuz just went he got it. I think he 2-stepped on the left side of the free throw line outside the lane and just leaned in on that joint, and then everybody just stood there like, whoa. Just, and he just dropped on the other side like that's normal. Like bro, nobody's supposed to be able to do that.
His bounce was crazy.
Yeah, I just wish he could have figured out the everything else that goes into being successful, because it's a lot of really talented athletic dudes out there, but that's only half of it. You got to have the mentality, the 8 inches between your mind, and just that consistency and discipline is really what separates dudes to make it to that next level. But tell me about your freshman year, you step in your first year in 2014-15 season. That's right after we come off the Final Four. You know, what were your expectations? You said Coach Donovan told you how it was going to be. Was there anything that really surprised you, where you're like, wow, this is way different? Guys usually say, the pace, the speed of the game. It was something to adjust to. For me, it was like, man, them 2-a-days, the bubble. Y'all ever had the bubble? Coach with the bubble on the rim?
Rebounding bubble?
The rebounding drill?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro! And you gotta get three rebounds in a row. But I mean, just the balancing out as a freshman in study hall and all that stuff, like it was a big time adjustment and a big learning curve for me. So what was it like for you your freshman year?
Well, first, speaking of y'all Final Four run, I think it was the Elite Eight, Sweet 16 or Elite Eight. Y'all played in Memphis, and I was actually at that game. I don't know if you remember that, but I was there.
Who we played?
Who was y'all playing? I want to say y'all played. Who was it?
It was that year.
Was it Dayton? Maybe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was UCLA and then Dayton. Yep.
Yeah, so I went to that game because y'all played in the FedEx Forum, so I was there for those games. Y'all won. I think it might have been the Elite Eight.
Yeah. We played UCLA Sweet 16 and then Dayton Elite Eight.
Yep. So,
Dayton upset somebody, whoever it was.
Yeah. So that was cool. I was already committed, and I was there at those games, just watching. It was
hell yeah.
Great to experience that before I actually got to experience like March Madness. But the biggest adjustment for me was just the physicality from high school. I came in, like you said, I'm 5'11", but I mean, when I first got there, I was like maybe 150 at most. So it's like I'm coming in, these guys have been there 3-4 years. They've been doing this college weightlifting program. I didn't really touch a weight, like maybe or something, but luckily, I was naturally strong, even though I was small. But every day coming in there, Michael Frazier's coming in there. We're playing one-on-ones from the wing, and it's like he's just going straight downhill, hitting me in my chest every time. And I'm like, I could do it like 3 times. I could take like the first 3 hits, and it's like try to at least make it hard on the score. And then it's like we get to rep 4, 5, 6, and I don't really got nothing left to give. I'm like, there's no way I have to do this all day. Every day, like every day. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like,
hit you right in your chest.
A strong guy that look like they're supposed to play football anyway, and they're like just play basketball. So I'm like, freshman year I struggled with that because you don't just get strong in 6-7 months. It takes a long time. So that was my biggest thing.
So was it a tough adjustment for you? Because I mean, we all know Preston Green is great at what he does, and you got a post on there. On your Instagram saying shout out to Preston Green. I'm not sure what year you posted that, but I'm going to guess and say that was after your freshman year. And just I'm sure you gained a lot of muscle. Preston Green, I'm going to have him on the show next after you. He's one of the best premier strength coaches in the game. Knows what he's doing. But let me tell you, it ain't no joke.
Man.
It ain't no joke, man. They don't know about Fridays. They don't know about them all-season FU Fridays and strongman. Like that, I don't even know how that stuff translates to help you in basketball other than just the mentality. Just getting you like breaking you down mentally so you just know you're capable of pushing through more mentally. But how was adjusting to that part? Because I didn't really, even though I came into UF kind of strong, naturally strong, I never did like a consistent weight training program. And I had a different strength coach at first, Matt Herring. He was a little bit more functional. And then Preston came in, he put me at 260 and like that. I got tired of weights. So I can imagine what it was like for you.
Well, for me, I have it's hard for me to gain weight. So I mean, I gained weight, but I never was one of those guys that just put on weight fast. So no matter what workout I would do, it's like my body would just slowly add. I could never just be in there for like a month and add, 10 pounds like certain guys or lose weight fast. My body was just always kind of the same. I would go up, 5, 10 pounds over summer school and then season starts, I'm gonna like drop back down 5 pounds. We're doing, but like I could see the difference. But like the weight, my weight wasn't really changing, but I could feel myself getting stronger and stuff. Then by the time it was done, I had gained 25, 30 pounds, and I could really tell the difference. But yeah, those that was the biggest adjustment for me. And then doing, like you said, the strongman Fridays, the FU Fridays, whatever. That's probably the hardest thing I ever did in my life, like to this point. And
yeah.
it started off hard, and you only got to do 3 exercises the first week. You got to build up into it or whatever. And it's like after the first week, I'm like, there's no way I can go into week 2 and add more exercises and do this. I'm dead last in the time. Like it's a competition, and I'm like 2 minutes behind everybody. So I'm like, yeah, there's no way I can do this. I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. I'm like, I love basketball. I came here to play basketball. I didn't come here to do
right?
Olympic weight training, strongman stuff. And then it's like once you finish it, you just felt like, all right, I can do anything if I can do this. Like God.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you, bro. Like I would get so mad at Coach Donovan. Like I'd be like, bro, I need to work on my game. Like I'm like, what is pulling this car gonna help me do? Like is this gonna? But I mean, Coach D just gave Preston the keys, and I swear Preston was just like, when the off season was there, that's when his eyes just got bigger, and like that's just like his favorite time of the year. So I mean, I wouldn't do it again. I couldn't imagine myself doing that strongman stuff now. I'm too old for that.
I don't even want to go
I mean,
off season.
I appreciate it.
I be wanting to go back and just like work out it there, but I'm like, I don't even want to see those guys have to do strongman because I got people to do.
But they be like antagonize you when you're doing it too. Like they just like you already feel like you're about to die, and they're insulting. Come on, Cheese, pick it up. You can do better than. I'm like, no, I can't.
I'm like, we already did 2 rounds. Like I'm about to pass out. I'm like, this is a truck. I'm pushing up a hill. Like what do you want me to do? I can't run
that dip
no faster.
That dip behind frames where you go level, it goes level when you're pushing that truck, and then you hit the middle and it starts going uphill.
Nope.
Gosh.
It got to the point where once I hit that dip, I just stopped. I can't run no more. I started turning around. I'm starting to push backwards on the truck with my back on the tailgate. I'm just doing anything I can do to get it to keep moving. Because if it stops, it's over.
It's over. Yeah. Once you start trying to move and maneuver and do other stuff, it ain't going nowhere. But what were some lessons you learned after your freshman year? Because that was your sole year that you had under Coach Donovan. What was and then we'll talk about the transition and getting to know Coach White. But yeah, what was after that freshman year? What was that like?
I say the thing I learned the most was just playing, picking and choosing when I can, use my speed. Like,
oh yeah.
In high school, it's like high school AAU, I can just run around the whole game and just run full speed. There's nobody's gonna keep up with me, so I can just do whatever I want to do, get to the hole whenever. Once I got to college, I could still get to the hole pretty much whenever I wanted to. But it was like, you got to be smart when you do it and learn how to, really read the defense when I'm coming off pick and rolls and when to change speeds and get to the position to be. So that was what I think I learned the most, and I think that's what helped me the next 3 years, especially, get my assist numbers up and,
Oh yeah. When you was it, when, and I'm sure it was a tough decision. For him, when he made that leap, what was in your thought process when Coach Donovan was announced that he was leaving and that a new head coach is going to fill in?
My first thought was, man, where am I going to go? Like, I immediately thought, like maybe going back home to Memphis. Just anyway, I was kind of thinking about transferring. But I think Coach Donovan, before everybody knew Coach Donovan was leaving, before it came out to the public, I was actually on my way to the airport to fly home before summer school, the break between the end of classes and summer school. He called me about 10 minutes before I got to the airport and told me the news. And he told me he just wanted us to hear it from him first, because we all didn't really think about him leaving. Like, yeah, we had a bad year. We're like, okay, we're gonna come back next year. You know, we know what we were doing wrong and how we was, losing games. We figured we're gonna be good next year. Coach Donovan, he's gonna get us where we need to be. And then find out he's leaving. The main reason I went there was for him. So I'm thinking like, man, I don't know if I want to be here. He's not here.
Yeah.
And then, once he called me and told me the news, he told me he was gonna, make sure, a coach was coming in that was gonna, be similar to him or be a good coach and, really push us to be, good and continue to be in a similar situation that we were in, as far as like the way we played. So when he told me that, and I actually met Coach White and I saw how Louisiana Tech had played and their play style and stuff, I said, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna give this a shot and see where it goes. So.
Do you remember that first time, like where you step on the court and Coach White is the coach at that time, and what did he tell you? I'm sure he had a didn't he have Elfrid Payton over there at Tech? I think Elfrid Payton was one of the players, and then you could see his style of play was really really up and down.
Yeah. So
hey Patric, I think you froze. I don't know how long you've been froze for. Chris, how long has he been frozen for?
I don't know.
Okay,
it froze for a little bit, but I can still hear him.
I know. All right, hold on. Shit. I don't know why. Oh, there you go. Hold on. Now you're back. You're back. All right, let me start it back here. All right, you can pick back up. Pick back up where you started with that question, Pat.
Okay, yeah. So, Cheese, what was it? Do you remember like within that first year? And obviously, it had to be a little bit different because a new coach, probably a whole new coaching staff because he brings in assistants and whatnot. What was that adjustment like for you? And then what really helps you that before that? What helps you have that confidence to not transfer within Coach White? What was it about him that made you not transfer? Because it's easy for anyone to say you're justified in making that decision. Like, hey, this ain't the coach that recruited me. What good coach or not, it doesn't matter. Just like that's not the coach that recruited you. They brought you to the school because I don't know you. I don't trust you. These other schools wanted me. Like, how did you decide? How did he convince you and instill in you that he's going to do everything he can to help you become the player that you want to be?
Yeah. So, like I said, Coach Donovan told me he was going to, make sure that a good coach came in. So, the level of trust that I had in Coach Donovan and the relationship we had, I took his word for that. And once I met Coach White, the first day I met him and the coaching staff, they had the film ready to go. They're like, this is how we're going to play. We know how you play. The assistant coach was Jordan Mincy. He's from Memphis. So me and him naturally clicked right away. So, that was a huge part of it. He probably was the coach I was closest to. So, he showed us the film and was like, I saw myself, I was like, this looks like how I played, high school AAU. Like, this is like a fun way to play. So I'm like, all right, I know I can play, in this system really well. I never been through a situation where, coach, I was a freshman, so I never experienced a coaching change and thought about assistant coaches that was also recruiting me, help recruit me, those guys leaving. So once I, found out everybody was leaving, it was really tough on me, not just Coach Donovan, but like I said, I clicked with Coach Mincy right away, Coach Nichols, Coach May, all those guys, they were great guys. And, I felt comfortable with them just after the first meeting. So that was a big reason I stayed. And, college transfer rules, I wasn't sitting out a year when I really thought about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't go through strongman and not play when I'm done with it. Like, there's no way I'm going through all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then not being able to get the reward of playing or practice. Like, no, there's no way I'm doing this.
But I bet those boys that transferred to Florida this year, probably when they had that first day of strongman, they're like, dang, what did I get myself into?
I'm like, no, they probably mad now, but they'll be all right.
They'll be all right. So we don't, I want to, because I do want to talk about your pro career, but we already know, Coach, things worked out for you really well at Florida. I think if Big John getting hurt and having his issues, I think that really affected you guys having more inside presence, because John was a beast. Goodness gracious, that man. And then, I mean, you and D-Rob's just athleticism and his abilities to just affect the game with length and just getting to the rim. And we all know that you were, again, like, it goes to show that you led the league 2 times in assist to turnover ratio. You led the team to an Elite Eight. We all know, man, you guys just like, when everybody knows the shot that you made, that and the buzzer beater against Missouri, that was extremely impressive. But what I remember about the shots you made to beat Wisconsin, Ty Lawson made a shot kind of similar in a regular season game against North Carolina at home, where it was like a floater, like feet planted behind the 3-point line and floater. And I'm sure that's not a shot. That was like a kind of shot that you might mess around, and like, it's not a shot you like directly intentionally practice. But man, that thing hit bottom.
Yeah, it was just the only thing I did. Like,
Bro,
I was really thinking about what I was gonna, how I was gonna shoot it. I just know we wanted to go, for a 3 if it was open, but my mindset really just used my speed to get to the rim. But I got bumped twice, and I knew I wasn't gonna make it. And I looked up, and I was like, I'm either gonna shoot a mid-range shot because I can't get all the way to the rim, or it's like I shoot a 3 and it's like go for the win. And it's like, I'm always a guy that's like not afraid to go. I'm a high roller, so I was like, I'm not afraid to take chances. So I was like, might as well. That's the only way I can shoot it though, running full speed.
Yeah, it's just wild. Like, when we as kids, we always like pretend dribbling at the park or whatever and count down. It's never a shot like that. It's always a fadeaway, a step back, whatever it could be, and it's just got to be awesome. Like, for the rest of history, the rest of college basketball, you got a piece of history as one of the greatest moments in college basketball history, which was extremely incredible. But going on from that, you go on to the league after you finish up your career with 1,000 points, record of assists, high in games played, so many other things, steals, and then the draft comes and you go undrafted. What's the first thing that goes through your mind? Because I had a decorated career, all those same things, great career, winning, blah blah blah, and I went undrafted as well, and it was something that I definitely wasn't emotionally prepared for it or mentally, but like, as far as the turnaround of me, like, all right, I'm gonna show that y'all proved wrong, like y'all messed up, like I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna show up in summer league, and it's a mindset, I got a chip on my shoulder. So what was that like for you, in knowing like, I'm gonna prove that I'm an NBA player, like y'all sleeping on me.
Yeah, like you said, like, having those awards and stuff and like the accolades is like, it was cool. Like, it was something like to be a part of history, but it's like when I went through the draft process of all these workouts, I think I had like 9 or 10 workouts. And I'm like, some guys go through where they have 15, 20, and I'm like, there's no way that you can do that. I had 9 or 10, and I was like beat. And I'm like,
You're done.
Working out for teams is going to need a backup point guard or somebody they're going to draft, when they're going to need a point guard. And, I felt like I was doing really well in my draft workouts. I was shooting the ball well. Like I said, I came off of, like, my senior year was probably my best year I had. We had a great team. We didn't do we didn't get as far as we wanted to get, but, I mean, we played well as a team and we were good. And, I just felt like I had a good chance of getting drafted. I had two teams call me and they told me that, if you're available at this pick, late in the second round, we're going to take you. And so when those picks came around, another name got called and, it was like, man, like you felt like, dang, they're just going to, you didn't have to lie to me like you're going to draft me right then. You could have just told me like,
Lie to me.
yeah, it was like, I don't know. It was a bad feeling, I ain't gonna lie. So like you said,
Yeah.
when that happened,
Yeah.
when that happened, like you said, I had that mindset of I'm gonna prove y'all wrong. Like, should have been drafted. I'm good enough to play in the league. And then from there, it was just every day I was like, I'm gonna show y'all. Like I do this. Like I can play with anybody, with the best players in the world. And, be the same guy that y'all know I am. So
I love that, bro. So you went on to play straight to play with Washington in summer league first.
yeah, so I went to Washington, played summer league there with D-Rob.
Yep. How was that?
That was fun.
Hey, I remember that play that oop y'all had, boy. Gosh, oh.
Yeah, that was definitely fun. I ain't gonna lie. That was that summer league experience was fun, and it was I was glad that I was on the team with D-Rob. He was kind of he left a year early, so he had already been through it, and was kind of letting me know how like things work and how the teams are. So I mean that helped a lot. And then I ended up, he didn't get picked up out the summer league. I just stayed with Washington and played with their G League team. And Devin stayed, he was on the G League team with me. And, that G League life was a lot different than what, you become accustomed to. Like,
yeah,
4 years of college, you're like, they're taking care of you, everything's, private, you flying charter everywhere to away games. And it's like, you get to the G League. It's like going back to high school and like AAU trips, tough schedules. You're playing in these cities. Some cities don't got no crowds. You got to fly into like Milwaukee, drive 2 hours to Oshkosh in the middle of,
Oshkosh. I never even heard of that city.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like that's Milwaukee's G League team. They was in like Oshkosh, I think. And it's a bunch of smaller cities, but it was just like I don't want to be here like in the G League. I'm gonna do whatever to get out of here. And I had a good team and guys around me that were I fit well with and was able to play well with and get the opportunity to get a 10-day with Houston and play with their G League team for a couple games and learn their system. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, after my 10-day. They called me back and signed me to the rest of the season. Then what was it? I played summer league with them my second year, and the CP3 Westbrook trade happened while we were in the middle of a summer league game. So like we're playing a game, we look up on the screen, it's like CP3 traded from Russell Westbrook. So like that trade went down. I didn't stay with Houston after summer league. I went back to Washington. Play with the G League team again. Well, actually, I went back to Washington with training camp. I ended up getting a 2-way deal my second year. And we had a lot of injuries early in the season to our centers. I think 2 of our centers were just going to be out for a couple months. And we didn't have any roster spots left. So they took my 2-way away and they gave it to a center. And this was like right before Christmas. So like, the G League has the invitational around Christmas time, right before Christmas now in Vegas, where it's like all the teams come play a tournament. And then I wasn't gonna go. I was like, man, I just lost my contract. I'm like, I'm not gonna go play in this. Like, I just wanna take a couple days to just like be to myself. And my agent calls me. He's like, Washington wants you to come play with them. For the G League showcase. And I'm like, there's no way I'm finna go play for this team. I'm like, there's no way. Like, I'm in the middle of the grocery store too. Like, I'm in the grocery store about to check out my groceries. I remember my agent calls me. He's like, they want you to fly there in the morning and play. And I was like, nah. I was like, I don't want to. And he was like, I was like, no, I'm like, I don't want to go. I'm like, I just want a couple of days to myself. And he was like, I think you should go. It's like, every team's gonna be there, all this, and you belong in the NBA, so it's like, this is your chance. So I go there and play really well. And I think a couple weeks later, Brooklyn calls me, bring me in on 2
Oh, okay.
That's how I ended up in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So
yeah, because I was looking and I saw in 2019, this is what I said. The funny thing that happened along your career path is that it says Washington waived you December 17th, 2019, December 17th, and then 4 days later on the 21st they re-signed you.
Yeah, so they re-signed me for the
showcase.
G League, the showcase. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
It was a G League. It was a G League contract.
Before we get into Brooklyn, I wanted to ask you this. It has this registered. March 24th, 2019 was the first time you got NBA action. Was that kind of surreal when you checked in? This is with Houston. It said like NBA game, like this game, like stats count in this game.
Yeah.
Like it's like was that kind of crazy? Just like checking in and like.
Yeah, that was my first real season. Like I played preseason games, but that was the first regular season game I played in. So like,
yeah,
that was definitely like a surreal feeling. Like even just the preseason games when you finally get out there on the court and you're playing, you're like,
sure.
hey, like this is cool, but just like shit, my contract's now. I don't have a spot on the team. I was trying to get a spot. So it's like once you sign and it's like you're out there, you're like, dang, I finally like can say I'm playing in the NBA game. And it's like, it was an unbelievable feeling. And I don't even know if I scored. I don't remember what game that was. I don't even think I scored my first game. I don't remember, but I just remember I hit my first three against Sacramento, and it was to like break the record and tie the record for most threes in the game.
Oh wow!
So that would be this one. So Houston ain't shooting nothing but threes back then, so it's like threes and late. So I check in and they swing me the ball. I'm like, well, I'm getting ready to shoot these guys. They know we're shooting. They're trying to run us off the line, so I'm like, let me just pump fake sidestep, let a three go. And everybody's shooting threes in like 5 minutes left. So everybody's trying to hit that three to break the record. I hit it. I'm like, yeah. I think that was my points.
That's big time. It says that the first game you checked in was against New Orleans.
Okay, yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah.
So then, Brooklyn.
I said that was the first. Yeah, that was the first. I think that was the first game I was there. Maybe second. But I got in and I remember that.
So over at Brooklyn, I remember I was super excited for you. You were getting a good amount of minutes. You were playing like 10 to 15 at some point. A few assists, few points here and there. Like that had to be awesome experience. And I think you were there before KD and Kyrie got there, right?
Well, they were both injured.
Ah, okay.
That was the year they were both injured. Yeah, so I got there. They were there already, but they just weren't. They were injured. So I think Spencer was the point guard. I think Spencer was starting at point. My first year. Yeah, Spencer was starting at point guard. I think my first year.
Any like notable stories like of any of those NBA guys that you were in the locker room with? You got to have something, bro. Tell the people something, man. That just like, man, that's crazy.
Okay, so my rookie year going into training camp with the Wizards, we had the little last day of training camp. We have the little open run for the fans or whatever, and like an autograph signing and like Six Flags, and we're doing an autograph signing. And before we get there, everybody was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to ride this roller coaster. John's gonna make all the rookies ride the roller coaster." So like, I hadn't ridden a roller coaster in so long. I'm like, I don't really want. I'm like, I ain't finna ride no roller coaster. They're like, yeah, you gotta get on the Superman. I'm like, wow. He's like, that's just what he makes the rookies do. So I'm like, all right. So the whole time we're doing autographs, I'm like thinking about this roller coaster. And, you know, it ends, everybody's getting to their cars. Everybody forgot about it. And then, like, right before we pull off, John comes out of nowhere. He's like, y'all rookies think I forgot? And I'm like, oh, man. So he has, like, the team security and everybody, like, takes us. John's walking with us. He's, like, taking us to the roller coaster. We go around, like, through this back entrance. And they're like, they shut everybody off and get in the roller coaster. And they're like, all right, who's going first? So I'm like, I gotta ride this roller coaster by myself, like nobody on here with me. He was like, yes. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, I'm not getting on by myself. I'm like, I'll ride the roller coaster.
Yes.
I'll ride the roller coaster, but I'm not riding it by myself. And so one of our camera ladies, she was like, I'll ride it with you. She was like, so you don't gotta be by yourself. She's like, I'm gonna record everything. I'm like, cool. So then he was like, all right, fine. You know, people can get on the ride with you. So like, I'm on the front, and it's like they let everybody else like fill in behind us. And the other rookie that we had, he just said he couldn't do it. He was like, I can't. He's like, I'm gonna like freak out and pass out or something. So I'd ride the roller coaster. You know, they're taking pictures when you come around that one big turn on the Superman. And so like they take a picture, you get to frame it. So like I'm scared getting ready to go to the roller coaster. It's got I ain't been on it so long. You know, the slow climb, you get to the top, you look down, you're like, oh, hell no. So once it starts though, I'm like having a good time. I'm still like scared. And it's like, I see the camera up here when we're about to come around the turn. So I know it's gonna take my picture and I'm in the front. So I'm just like posing like this. Like, so it look like I'm not scared. So like we get the printout and I'm like, let me get 2 of those. So I get the second printout and I give it to John. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, you thought I was gonna be scared to ride this roller coaster. So he got a picture of me like this, like I wasn't scared of nothing. From riding the roller coaster because he was trying to, you know, do the little rookie treatment on me, but I really was scared, really scared.
I can imagine.
But long story short, I got paid an undisclosed amount of money for that, for the rookie treatment. I didn't know I was gonna get paid for it. He just said he got a gift for me for riding the roller coaster.
What?
So I got a nice little gift.
That's love right there.
Yeah, that's how I know. People really make. That's like they make a lot of money up here.
That's what's up. Oh yeah, I believe it. John's still there, ain't he?
Nah, he's with Houston right now.
That's right. So Chief, we got a few more things before I let you go. Get some different things to know for the people to know about you. You know, if people don't know about Chris Chiozza, you can find him on Instagram at Chiozza11, number 11. My man is a fashion icon. If y'all didn't know, he is a mogul. Where did your fashion sense come from? And you know, are you big into fashion? Or do you follow like stuff? Or you just like, are there certain brands you really like? Or you know, where did you get your sense of fashion? Because my man be on there smooth.
No, I'm not. The thing is, I'm not even big on fashion like that. Like I don't keep up with like. I don't follow like any like fashion pages, no like brands, nothing. I literally just, I'll be on Instagram and I'll see something and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of hard. And then like I'm just like go online shopping and it's like iPhones is crazy now. It's like anytime I see something I like that look cool. It's like I get to go shopping online. It's like Siri, I think Siri be listening. She be finding stuff I like, and I'm just like,
Siri's always listening.
This is hard, and I'm like, yeah, because I'm a simple guy. Like I wear a lot of neutral colors, a lot of black. So it's like I just find different pieces I like, and I just kind of throw them together. And being in New York and stuff when it got cold, it's like when you really can like dress up, you put layers on, you just kind of pick pieces out. That's when I really started. Like Washington was a little cold too, so I could wear some stuff, but I wasn't really big on it. I wasn't there that long. But when I got to New York, that's when I really started, you know, going out actually shopping in stores and being around, like being in New York where it's like fashion district and stuff like that. I started actually going to stores and finding stuff I like. That's when I started kind of putting stuff together.
Well, it's probably a little bit easier for someone to shop that's, you know, standing at 5'11". It's probably a lot easier to find your size.
Oh yeah, I can find anything. There's always some stuff in my size for sure. Like
whenever I'm trying to get a custom something, it's just like it's all like everything is super. I'm like, man, it's not fair that the way my body is set up, I just can't. Like, I gotta pay more just to wait because I got longer arms and like I'm muscular. Like it ain't even fair. And my legs are long. Like, but there's nothing I can do about it. But last thing I wanted to that intrigued me about your profile, is motivation. Your very first post on your Instagram, which I love, is with God, all things are possible. What are you believing for? What is your motivation that just keeps you going? That is something that probably whoever's listening to this, because one thing I love about sports is that everything that you experience in sports is like translatable to or transferable to how we experience life. And those motivations can, working hard, whatever it may be, can directly help us to continue to be the best versions of ourselves. So obviously your faith is a big part of that. But what else motivates you to continue just going after it?
Yeah, so like you said, my faith growing up, like my grandparents were big on the church, and my mom was big on church. So growing up, I was always in church. So I felt like that was just something like my first post. I remember it it was actually on the back of a baseball glove. Like that picture I took was like a baseball glove on the front, on the back, it had that verse on it, and it's like a little coin, like a metal almost. And I think it's actually still in my room at home in Memphis. I think that was just, the reason I posted that as my first picture was like, that was just something I really truly believed in. And I was like, this is, something I've always kind of believed in. Like my family's big on it.
Yeah.
I've been through, like just being, like you said, a 5'11", regular sized person playing a sport that, all these tall people play. It's not a lot of people under 6 foot and under, even get a chance to play. So it's like, I knew it was gonna be tough, but it was something I love to do, and it's like my dream. So I'm like, this is always gonna be possible. Anything that, you believe in God, and He can make anything possible. So I never have lost my faith in, my abilities or, my opportunities I'm gonna have. Like you said, basketball, sports in general has like real life translatable things. So it's like, I think in life, I never really get too down on anything because I know, I've been cut, haven't made teams, stuff like that. I've been in positions where I feel like I should be doing this and this, and it's just not working. But, it's always, at the end, it always works itself out. So like, anytime I'm going through something, I just be like, it's going to work itself out at the end. So that's just like something I live by. I'm like, I don't stress about it.
Yeah.
I just let my faith do everything and know the work I put in at the end of the day, I'm going to be all right, regardless of what I do. I'm going to figure something out. Like something's going to work its way out. And
Absolutely.
Don't stop grinding. So that's just the way I look at stuff.
Yeah, bro. It's like, it's so much to be grateful for in the grand scheme of things. Like there's always areas we can wish to be better, things to be a little bit different, but we just got so much to be grateful for. I can, looking at my career, I wish things could have went different. It could have been playing longer, but I'm like, man, I got a chance to play at my dream school and play professionally and travel the world. And like, so many people never get that chance. And a lot of it was, I did nothing to be born or for my body to be this size. And, when you put those lenses of gratitude on, it's a lot easier to have that attitude, that mindset of like, whatever comes my way, nothing's gonna change my work ethic and my motivation. I'm gonna still give my best. So, Chris, I want to thank you so much for your time. Do not stop believing. It's been an honor having you on the show. Gonna get this posted out there for all the fans to see. Gator Nation loves you as well as everybody else along with your journey, man. Keep pushing. We can't wait to see you out there in Golden State. It's gonna be an exciting year. Stay healthy. Stay motivated and don't give up, bro. Keep being a motivational figure that you have been to everybody. And God bless, bro. So thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. And that was it, Rowdies. The one and only, the Flash, Chris Chiozza. Such an awesome story, such an awesome man that we know to love. 5'11", one of those small guards, as Coach Billy Downing and Love and Coach Mike White are so able to bring the best talent and ability out of. So happy to see him still doing his grind and just getting after it and believing. As I said, I love being able to do this. I love, even though got other things to go on, this is something I look forward to doing every week and bringing this content to you guys. So if you can continue to promote this podcast for me, if you can subscribe, if you can share. Remember, this is the Young and the Rowdies. You can find that this is on Apple and Spotify. Don't forget the Field of 68 Media Network. Thanks to those guys so much for making this opportunity for me exist, as well as to being able to get this content out to you in the way that it's getting done. So Gator Nation, we're looking forward to this upcoming season, college basketball season. Hopefully, I'm speaking to this before the Florida-Alabama game happens. I don't know what happens. So I'm just going to predict right now that Florida